Blue Horse Theatre presents an Internet Archive audio-visual book. Descriptions of Ancient Works in Ohio by Charles Whittlesey of the Lake Geological Corps of Ohio. Descriptions of Ancient Works in Ohio by Charles Whittlesey of the Lake Geological Corps of Ohio, accepted for publication by the Smithsonian Institution, May 1850, Volume 3, Part 7. Descriptions of Ancient Works in Ohio by Charles Whittlesey of the Lake Geological Corps of Ohio. This is page 8, which describes Plate 2 ancient work near Todd's Fork, Warren County, Ohio. Plate 2, which shows an ancient work near Todd's Fork, Warren County, Ohio. This sketch exhibits very little that is different from the works commonly seen in Ohio, and heretofore described except the raised part, D, which is analogous to the effigy mounds described by Dr. Locke, Mr. Taylor, and others in the northwest. The land had been some years under cultivation, 1839, and possibly the full figure was wanting. But as it was when surveyed, the resemblance to an animal or even a monster was not very striking. If the semblance of legs had been seen on the eastern side, it would be easy to imagine it intended for a living creature or a caricature of one. But even then, what animal the constructors wished to exhibit would be very doubtful. The western edge is the highest, being 4 feet, and the eastern about 2 feet. At I is a small mound within the boundary of the figure, D. The wall of the rectangular part of C is low and without ditches. The semicircle or sickle, marked B, has a wall a little heavier, being 2 feet high by 20 feet broad, and is better defined. The more northerly of the two segments of small circles, marked E with wide openings, is partially obliterated. At N is a very distinct road or graded way from the plane of the work down to the river bottom, a descent of about 20 feet, and steeper than is usual with the roads of the mound builders. The embankments at A are low and narrow but distinct. It is very seldom that lines of embankment descend to the first bottom, as is the case at the northeast corner of the part, C. M is a small mound. The pits marker A, and A are evidently artificial, but are not capacious enough to have furnished much earth for the walls, and there are no excavations in the vicinity from which the material of these appear to have been taken. With the high limestone bluff overlooking it on the south, and in the absence of ditches, this work can hardly be considered as one of a military kind. The river is everywhere fordable, and the walls in their best days were slight. The survey was made under circumstances that did not allow of a minute measurement of all parts of the work. Some of the details are given from an eye sketch, and this obstructed occasionally by a snowstorm. It is situated about 6 miles below the great fortification, described in Smithsonian Contributions to Knowledge, 1, 18, Plate 7. The great number of remains on the Little Miami, between this work and the mouth of the river, indicate a very dense population in the days of the mound builders.